So, I'm stuck at the house for the next few days because my transmission has to be replaced. Um, see, nobody's with us yet, so for whoever watches this in the future, I'm going to give you a great piece of advice that I learned from two different mechanics. If you drive a car or know somebody who does, this is great advice. They both said that most mechanics will tell you that you have to change your transmission fluid every 70,000 miles. But this is not true. Your transmission will break and cost you a lot more than the $200 it takes to change your transmission fluid. You should change your transmission fluid every 30,000 miles. So you don't have to not have a car for like a week and a half and pay $7,200 for a new transmission. Anyways, for somebody, my buddy who works on cars says that every woman he knows would rather replace her entire transmission than their transmission fluid because I don't know. It seemed like one of those things that didn't really matter that much to me for most of my life, But yeah, it ended up costing twice as much as I thought it was going to, and even my buddy who works on cars thought it was going to because some special kind of transmission. um, but yeah, that being said, do not skip that. $200 is a lot less than $7,200. Get your car maintained so you don't cost yourself a lot more down the road. Same with your body too. I recommend doing preventative maintenance. Whatever that means for you. Put the right kind of gas in your tank. People tell me all the time, like, oh, I can't afford healthy food or whatever. It's like, can you afford $1 million hospital bill? Wow. Wow. So, if you're watching this in the future, you got the Hierophant, past position, the Emperor, present position, Page of Cups, future. Hierophant. It's very cute. Sky represents conformity, both good and bad. The Hierophant, or High Priest, is associated with Odin, the one-eyed god of wisdom and prophecy, and his raven companions. The wise elder always follows the rules. Sometimes he even makes them. What about the rules that are meant to be broken, the counters meant to be jumped on, the upholstery meant to be clawed? Sometimes it's okay to turn a blind eye. Whomp whomp. This card represents those who choose their own path. House cats aren't pack animals, and neither are you. Neither am I. Emperor. Born with the right attitude, even the cone of shame can be a crown. The Emperor holds all the cards with absolute authority. After all, a cone only prevents cats from biting themselves. Anyone else is fair game. But power must be used responsibly, and the card reminds us to exercise some serious self control. Master yourself, and destiny will follow. That's good advice. I always tell people the way to do that is. That's good advice. I always tell people the way to do that is through meditation. And they call it meditation practice because it takes practice to get good at it. You have to actually do it to get good at it. And what are you trying to get good at? You're trying to get good at being in the moment when life actually happens, not reliving the past or worrying about future possibilities that'll probably never happen. Because we miss out on so many of life's opportunities when we are replaying the same movies over and over again in our head or worrying about the future. Oh, hello. Somebody joined. Tell me where you're from in the chat. And if you have a question, you can say it out loud or keep it to yourself. Page of Cups. I'm supposed to read you what it says. Page of Cups. The cat there. Page of Cups. As usual, the page brings in a youthful perspective, but he's willing to take a good look at his reflection in order to understand his true feelings. As determined and studious as he may sometimes seem, make no mistake, the page is also fun and young at heart. Note the lily symbolizing the freshness and innocence of youth. He can relax and take time to gaze deeply into his feelings and motives, or whatever needs gazing into. This card is a sign that it's a good time to start a new creative endeavor, although it doesn't have to involve getting your head wet. That's for somebody in the future. Okay, I guess we'll pull an oracle card for you futuristic people. Wow, is it really almost 2025? We thought we'd be in flying cars by now. What happened? How did we go to the moon in 1969? We're not in flying cars by now. That is a real question. Love for somebody to answer. How did they have a live feed on the moon back then? You don't have one now. You can just like tune into for the fun. Like, please, somebody explain this. This doesn't make sense. So we'll do a Divine Dog Wisdom card. These are so fun. Guidance. This is for somebody. Help is on the way because you asked for it. And the universe loves you. Our angel guides only put us through hard times when we aren't getting the message because we aren't tuned into the right frequency. So, very important to make sure you are vibrating at a high frequency and your oracle cards aren't stuck together. Eat mostly plants. Get sunshine on your skin. Cardio, yoga. And take care of yourself. Cut all negativity out of your life. Tell people you have a one strike and you're out policy. Because you protect your energy at all costs. Aw. Sorry if you lost something, but allow yourself to grieve and don't beat yourself up over it. Tell people you're taking some time off of being Mr. and Mrs. Life of the Party, and find some balance in your life. Like this dog on a skateboard. Oh, wow, someone showed up in the chat. Hi, tell me where you're from. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. My name's Eric. I'm not from here. I've lived here 4 years. I'm from Atlanta. But I've lived in a lot of places. So Chattanooga probably has the best bang for the buck. Actually, overall, it's kind of my favorite place. Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull another one for you guys. There we go. Oh man, solitude. Yeah, give yourself time to heal or recuperate or bounce back, whatever the case may be. Hi, Marwa. Yes, I'll do a reading for you. What do you mean you feel like you're freezing in time? I think I might know what you mean, actually. Sometimes we just feel like we're just stuck in the mud. Is that what you mean by that? Sometimes it feels like, we're the opposite of a life of the party. We're stuck in the mud. And sometimes we get so comfortable and complacent with our lives that time really does seem to stand still because like nothing's really moving forward. And this one just jumped out again. Just pulled this one. So obviously that is a message for you, Mara. Find some balance in your life between whatever it is you've been spending your time on and stepping outside of your comfort zone and going on walks, going out in the woods, finding a new hobby if you need one. 23, finish school, in a relationship, but don't see no outcome. Here's my advice on relationships. They are for the birds, unless, and not even birds get in relationships. They're for the birds unless every star in the universe is aligned. Oh, you're a Libra. I have you on my index finger. This is like one of my first tattoos, actually, before I knew the difference between a shader and a liner. I am a Gemini. You can see my Gemini chart. So, yeah, we're air signs. We get each other. That some people call us airheads, but I resemble that statement. Pull another one for you. Oh, thanks. Do you have tattoos? I do tattoos. I'm not very good at it yet. I've done a lot of them on myself. And probably saved myself the money I would have spent on them and made enough to pay for my tattoo gear. So that's good enough for me. I'm not sure I want a tattoo in a shop because I just can't be under somebody's fat boot. You know what I mean? That's the other reason I can't really be in a relationship unless every star in the universe is aligned and the timing's right, which a lot of times we try to force things when the timing isn't right and we ruin what could be otherwise a good thing. Or we move in together and then we're just in each other's faces all the time and get sick of each other and see each other at our worst and lose our tempers. And, like nobody ever talks up front about like the important stuff. They say that the number one killer of relationships is uncommunicated expectations. How long is it okay to leave your Taco Bell wrapper sitting there on the table before it's okay for me to say something about it and not feel like a jerk or you're not going to bite my head off? Like Is it a big deal? I don't know. Like if it happens all the time, it kind of is. You know what I mean? And these are the kinds of things that build up friction on our relationships, or like try to get a job together. I mean, like have a baby together. You know what I mean? Like all like all these things add a lot more friction to our relationships, and also when we move in together, give up our free space, like our sacred space where we like go to charge our batteries. Um, yeah, that's why I recommend polyamory. I got love for 12 different girls. It's like I don't kiss and tell, but I hardly ever go there because I protect my energy at all costs. And I don't know, like all that physical stuff is just so addictive and distracting, and and you know, it really messes us up. Like especially if it's somebody we're not in alignment with, or if it's somebody that's vibrating at a lower frequency than us. Um, we have to protect our energy at all costs, and it's not worth dealing with all that. Usually, just to have a warm body in your bed, or not to be alone. It's like you'll never be alone if you get to know your spirit guides. Um, so that is my best relationship advice. Actually, writing a book right now, and including a lot of this information. Wow, a lot. Wait, we got 3 cards. Okay. So cute. So, um, oh yeah, you got the Joker, the Fool card. Things are never as they seem. Maybe that has to do with your relationship. I don't know why that would have come out. Maybe, maybe this person you're with is not as they seem. I'm not saying that's true, but um, it's a possibility, especially if you feel like you don't really see any outcome with your relationship. I mean, is it a thing where they really want to be only with you for the rest of the, because that's like a big commitment, you know what I mean? And a lot of times we like jump into this exclusivity commitment thing when we really don't, like we don't know what we're getting into, like we give this other person all of our trust at the same time, just based on how good things feel at the beginning, and we hardly ever even do like a background check on them to make sure they're not, like a psychopath. Uh, Much less make them earn our respect and trust over time, as we should do. Um, because yeah, it's like getting cheated on is no fun. Um, you know, being with somebody who doesn't know how to control their temper is no fun, and you should not be in a relationship if you cannot control your temper. In my opinion, I say this all the time, but it's like once the piece of fine china is broken, um, because you were careless with your words or actions or whatever, it's like you can duct tape it back together, but it's not going to be quite the same. Integrity. Do you and your partner have integrity? And integrity is what? That is, I've heard it said, integrity is who you are when no one's looking, who you are in your thought life. A lot of people think that they can get away with pretending to be somebody, in the way they come across and their actions or whatever. And they're like a totally different person in their head. Um, so that's why we have to make people prove themselves to us and to not give our trust away all at the same time. Protect your energy at all costs. Okay. Should we do a spirit animal? So, Mara, are you still with me? Um, if If you are, do you guys live together? You've been together for a year. Yeah, that's a while. But still not enough time to really get to know somebody. Another thing is, like, I say this a lot too. If you live in the city, you're going to be a different person. Like every 5 years, especially if you work in a restaurant or something, you are both going to be completely different people, and you're probably going to grow apart. Not to sound unromantic or whatever, but I think personally, marriages should come with like 5-year term options. Where you have to renew it every 5 years, or it expires, because chances are, if you're like most people, you will have burnt yourselves out on each other by then. Be totally different people. Have found somebody new. You want to marry your work boyfriend or girlfriend because you got the rose-colored glasses and all that friction already built up, and it's like once those feelings creep underneath the front door out of the fog, it's like good luck getting them back. Pig spirit says use your mind wisely. What does that mean for you? Do you have like a supercomputer on your shoulders that uh, could make you rich and famous if that's what you want, or give you the life of your dreams, attract the partner of your dreams? Like, yeah, probably so. You're probably smarter than you realize. Um, but we kind of get indoctrinated, especially in this country, like to think that we're only capable of doing the bare minimum or being factory workers or whatever. Um, no, we're capable of a lot more. um, and yeah, it's a good idea to check in with yourself sometimes and ask yourself, am I using like the world's greatest supercomputer to just play solitaire all day long? Or do something super unimportant? And am I making myself miserable in the process? It's easy to do when we're not living up to our potential or even trying to do so. And that's why another reason why I just feel like relationships are such a quagmire when it comes to blocking us from finding our true destiny. I mean, as Nikola Tesla said, maybe it's Nikola Tesla, I don't know how to say his name. Moments of genius happen when you're alone. No, we don't live together. Ask what will come next in my life. Well, you got the Moth Spirit card, and that means it's time to surrender to whatever comes next in your life. Like tarot and oracle cards can only tell you what path you're on and maybe some guidance that will be helpful, but like they say in the Led Zeppelin song, was it Stairway to Heaven? Yeah, there's still time to change the road you're on. And if you feel like your relationship is going nowhere because you said that, then maybe you are blocking your own blessings by staying in it, And the way that I know things, like a message is really from the divine or not, is if I wake up every day feeling a little bit stronger about what it was I felt yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a good way to ask the divine with that. I mean, if you don't like using tarot cards like me, or ask your angel guides whether something's right or wrong for you, just ask them. Just plant that seed and make it grow a little bit, like a noticeable amount every day, so I can know for sure whether this person, place, thing, whatever is right for me. And be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't kick the can down the road if it's obviously not right. You know what I mean? I'll pull a tarot card for you. Wow. Yeah, so if this has to do with your relationship, then it's probably not in the cards for it to be a long-term thing. And I'm not saying it's, like a waste of time to stay in it, but it's like you might be standing in your own way. It's like you don't want to be with the wrong person just because you're afraid to be alone or afraid of the temporary consequences of having to deal with all the breakup stuff. And then that's when the universe finally gets you and your soulmate in the same room, somebody that you're truly aligned with. Like but yeah, there's no reason to be exclusive. I mean, like, give up your freedom for a ball and chain, and give someone the right to kill your vibe because they don't like who you're talking to or where you're going or what you're doing, or you didn't buy them enough presents or whatever. Is that really worth whatever good things that you enjoy about that relationship? You know what I mean? Um, if the physical stuff is really that good, like, I don't blame you, but I mean, but to the extent I don't blame you, it comes down to how much like drama uh, is happening as a result of all this. You know, 5 of Swords, I think. Five of Swords. Surrender doesn't mean relax. Oh wow, that word surrender was on that Moth Spirit card too. It means defeat and loss. Upright. Your position at the forefront, seemingly larger and more powerful than the cats behind you, speaks to the growth and healing you've achieved. That said, you can't ignore their backs are turned. There's discord here. You may be holding on to bad habits, doubts, or fears. If you can let go and compromise a little, even more progress lies ahead. It won't be easy, but the destruction and conflict can be resolved. Um, you got the 8 of Swords too. It's like the worry card. This card is short on subtlety, but long on symbolism. I love the picture. Um, it's a lot more amusing than the one on the Rider-Waite deck. Uh, I think, yeah, that's the one with the blindfolded girl and like the 8 swords in the ground around it. Um, well, you're tangled up, all right. All those feelings of entrapment, restriction, etc., are distracting you from seeing things clearly and facing the facts. It's leaving you feeling isolated and vulnerable. You can break out of this, look inward, take responsibility, and face the music, and you'll soon see a path forward. Better. Yeah, hope that helps. Um, so yeah, I want to look at yeah, let's pull a dreamscape oracle, shall we? Well, thank you for hanging out with me, Marwa. Where are you from, Marwa? Um, yeah, I was hoping somebody would stick around in the chat for more than 5 seconds. But we're just getting warmed up. I'm gonna like keep doing this until my angel guides tell me to stop. I went to Africa. Which country? I had a friend from Senegal. We had a lot of good times. He actually set up my first DJ gig ever. It was his birthday party at the most notorious reggae club in Atlanta, and I was the only white person I ever saw in that place. I started playing there like every single weekend, and man, it was so wild, but so much fun. Probably not very safe, but live to tell about it. It was a lot of fun though. Got to start somewhere. The spring. This is a Dreamscape Oracle. I am bananas about the artwork on these. There's only a few of them, and they're hard to shuffle. And the meanings are very esoteric and dreamlike. I think they're supposed to feel like a dream, you know. But I started doing this, and I highly recommend you guys do it as well. Write down your dreams, and you got to have like a dream journal right next to the bed. And the book on magic I've been reading, I also highly recommended Modern Magic by Donald Lee Craig. I think that's his name. Says that we should not try to interpret our dreams at first, you know, just like write them down and look for patterns. Yeah, check out that book if you can. It's very interesting. And it'll make you realize, like, you know, the church people have tried to associate magic and wizardry with evil and like tarot cards and all that, you know, but there is nothing inherently evil about any of that stuff. It's just a bunch of tools, you know, that we can use to build. I mean, like a hammer, you know, you can use it to build a house, or you can do something bad with it. You know? But there's no reason that we shouldn't be tapping into our superpowers and using them for good. I'm trying to do right now. The spring is on page 13. Maybe that number is significant. Oh, it's Friday the 13th. In like hour and a half. The number is significant. And today is the 1212 portal, which is also significant. It's about to be midnight on the 1212 portal. Make it the 1213 portal. A red-headed maiden sits at the edge of the sacred waters. She leans forward, seeking out images and answers from the surface of the pool. She has a desire to belong, to fit in with her kin. Stars stretch across the sky behind her, illuminating the blackness. The light enables her to see clearly and to follow the path. Each star is a gift of hope, a promise that a better future will come, no matter what. Many waterfalls and springs flow around the maiden. Water is the healing symbol, as the springs bring life-sustaining nutrients to every living creature, both sick and healthy. Allow water to cure you. Release your emotions and anxieties. Yeah, and I heard recently that we can like it's been scientifically proven somehow that we can like use our thoughts and intentions to to change the molecular structure of water. Another great book is High Magic by Damien Eccles, where he like goes into detail about how he does this, like alchemizes water. Um, but but yeah, this this sounds like it means it's time time for some big changes in your life, and that it's not wise to hold on to things from the past that aren't serving you anymore. Should pull a. Hold on. Oh my god. We're totally doing one of these. Wisdom Oracle. Like, yeah, I got these at McKay's the other day, and I'm just so obsessed with this deck. I can't even tell you guys. I'm obsessed with all of them, but especially this one lately. It's like every time I pull a card from this, it is just so accurate. It's just kind of scary. So yeah, ask for how long it's going to take for me to find my soulmate. Well, um, the better thing to do is become your own soulmate, Marwa. Um, in order for us to have someone who's a good catch, we have to be an equally good catch. You know what I mean? And that takes years of working on ourselves. It's like if you ever meet a guy that's like the guy of your dreams, it's like, why is he the guy of your dreams? Probably because like he did the work, he got his business in order, like he got like physically healthy, like he can actually is actually physically able to deal with some kids, and like raise them right. He's like done the work to get his temper in check or whatever. And it's like, until we've done that work on ourselves and gotten to that point where we're self-sufficient, like I do not recommend that being your main plan, like waiting for the right guy to come along. Like two halves don't make a whole, you know what I mean? It's like and we have to be we have to be in a place where it's like we're not like fresh out of another relationship, you know what I mean? Like we've had time to heal. Like catching people when you're on the rebound or they're on the rebound is usually a very bad idea. And yeah, we gotta work on ourselves, and just trust that the universe will send us the right person at the right time, but they are not going to make us happy. We are the only ones that can do that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this will have an answer for you. Probably won't be one as specific as you're looking for, but it might be. Never know. Time to go. That's what it says. Time to go. It's go time. What could that possibly mean? The number on the card is 45. That might be significant. 45. I found it. Time to go. Essential meanings. Endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. You've been there, you done that, and you got the t-shirt. The Oracle's message: you are at the end of one journey, have not yet begun the next. This is a moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. Maybe even write it down. Maybe write a book about it. It's time to move on to new experiences. and a new way of being. There's nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. Relationship message. It's over. Or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is a time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. Hope you're still listening, Marwa. I'm pretty sure this is basically saying that at the very least, your soulmate isn't going to come along until you end this cycle that you already said isn't serving you, and tie up all these loose ends and kind of like heal from this whole situation. It's like that's the earliest it could possibly be. That doesn't mean anything is lost, although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract where you kind of just like taught each other what you were supposed to teach each other. Like not every relationship is supposed to be forever. Actually, most of them are not. Um, like enjoy people for while they're in your lives. Uh, it's more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. Prosperity message. This message is clear. The path you've been on with your work, creative projects, and business alliances have come to an end. You will not find the success you desire by continuing with what is now in front of you. This is an auspicious sign because there is no choice that will benefit you other than risking stepping into the unknown. It's time to walk towards something new. This card also pertains to the more neutral concept of completion. You finish your task and can rest assured that this ending will open up a powerful new avenue of opportunity. Even better than you can imagine. You have done all that you can. Now trust that Spirit keeps the plan moving forward. Fortune requires you to conclude this chapter of your life and remember that when you close one door, another one opens. Like Bob Marley said. Protection message. Even if it appears that you've reached the end of the line and all is lost, it isn't. You're in a situation that will resurface again later, so consider this a break rather than an ending. Destiny is in charge here. You lose nothing and gain everything when you surrender to that fact. Your soul knows that your destiny is unfolding with perfect timing and synchronicity. Your small self has doubts, but that is natural as it doesn't have the map of your destiny. The soul does. Spirit loves you and you can trust that. Yeah. And whenever the spirit leads us away from a relationship or whatever, a lot of times it seems like, oh, they're just leading me into this barren desert of loneliness or whatever. Um, that's because we get very addicted to all these like endorphins and adrenaline and validation and like always having somebody there. It's like it's very addictive to have that, especially when you live with somebody or see them all the time. um, and yeah, it feels like you're coming off of drugs when you don't have it anymore. So that's why I'm very careful about going there with anyone these days, because like I'm fully aware at this point of how addictive I can be, like if I really like somebody and I'm trying my best to keep them around, um I'm sure it I'm sure it sucks when they they finally pushed their luck too many times, and I'm not around anymore. But you know, as much as I care about not hurting people, it's like I care a lot more about protecting my own energy. And that for me has included in the past few years just trying hard to not go there with anybody unless it really seems like that's what the universe has for me, you know, and it's going to be like a mutually beneficial thing and not just a bunch of escapism, you know. Because you don't need anyone else to validate your experience or your existence or your feelings or anything like that. You don't need anyone else. Helps to have a cat, though. This is Munchkin. And I literally wouldn't trade her for the entire world, you know. You could offer me $1 million right now. And I'd probably say no. Just kidding. I would definitely say no. She's going to be really mad at me because I said that. Surprised she didn't scratch me. She does that sometimes. Sometimes she bites my hand just for the fun of it. Okay. Pull a. Should we pull an Animal Apothecary? What do you think, Munchkin? Animal Apothecary. One of my new favorite Oracle decks by Cara Elizabeth. Cara Elizabeth Speaks on YouTube. She does have super amazing YouTube channel. It's very transformative. And highly recommend you subscribe to her. Oh yeah, please subscribe to my other page, y'all. Please like open up a new tab right now and do it. Because I'm only doing readings here because I don't have 25 subscribers on my other page yet. So I will love you forever if you can just like open up another tab, look up Woodland, like Woodland, all one word, Woodland Wizardry, like Harry Potter, Wizardry, Woodland Wizardry, my other page on YouTube, and subscribe to that page so I can get 25 subscribers and start going live over there. I'm pretty sure this page got banished to the shadows because I was talking about nutrition and physical health and things of that nature, which I'm not a doctor, so can't claim to know anything about that. Abundance. Wow, you get the abundance card. So this means we are no longer operating from a place of lack or want or need or I don't have it yet or any of those things because we got the abundance card. And that means that we already have it. Maybe in this other timeline or whatever on some other frequency, but we can tap into that frequency. And the way it works is like if we're both holding tuning forks and like one of us hits our tuning fork, the other one will vibrate, but only if they're tuned to the same frequency. Abundance. Number 9. Maybe the number 9 is significant. This is what all the other readers say. Every time a number comes up, it's like, that number might be significant. But what if it's not? Because nobody's even listening anymore. Except for the people in the future. Hi, people in the future. Just going to keep reading for you guys, I guess. Marwa decided she didn't want to be my girlfriend. Just kidding. So, abundance, bowhead whale. To survive, bowhead whale must be in flow with the currents of the ocean where its main source of food lives. When a team is migrating through the Arctic waters, the lead bowhead will often break through the ice to create a hole that the following whales will use to breathe. Bowhead whale comes to ask you to be in harmony with the flow. The flow is a path of least resistance. It is allowing that which is bigger than yourself to guide you. This card reveals that something greater is clearing the way for a time of relief. You are in alignment with the flow where abundance follows. This abundance is revealed to you as your true self. You are being asked to release your negative thinking and worry. Rest assured that whatever is currently bringing discord or angst will soon dissipate. So let go. Holding on to worry is resisting the state of flow. When we trust life and surrender, we work in flow. When we work in flow, we channel, which means we allow the universe to self express through us. In these magical moments of inspiration, we allow the universe to actualize using us as the vehicle. This is bliss as we transcend the superego and are one with the ultimate oneness. This is where we realize our true self. This is ultimate abundance. Bowhead whales medicine suggests prayer as a gateway to channeling. Ask the universe what you can do for it and not what it can do for you. What comes next is better than what you could possibly wish for. Oh, it's okay, Mara. um, well, thanks for sticking with me. Yeah. Well, hopefully that was helpful. Pull a few more. And don't get spooked out by this, because it's really not spooky. It just looks spooky. We're gonna pull dark magic. But it's a good kind of dark magic. It's not like, like they say, black magic is trying to use magic to gain power or override somebody's free will or whatever. This is about shadow work. It's about dealing with the sides of yourself that most of us just try to bury or hide in the closet or whatever. And we have to be honest with ourselves about these different parts of ourselves that like sometimes we're not so proud, you know what I mean, like your lizard brain or whatever. It's like I've learned to not associate with my lizard brain because because he usually doesn't have the big picture or my best interest in mind. You know what I mean? Like all he wants is what he wants at that moment, and it's usually not for your highest good. But should we like punish ourselves or like go in the closet and whip ourselves like the monks used to do? Like every time we have a lizard brain thought, it's like no. Just notice that, like hear them out, but for the most part, only act on what our higher selves are trying to get us to do. And this one comes out every single time I shuffle this deck. Consent. Know your boundaries. And I keep pulling it, but I never read what it says. So we're going to finally do this. Number 23. Maybe that number is significant. 23. Consent is a two-way street. It's more than saying yes or no. This card says it's time to protect yourself. Don't feel coerced. Know your limits. Consent can be interpreted as establishing boundaries against the literal pressure of you know what, kissing or physical union, but also against the demands of others that leave you feeling torn apart and spread too thinly. Even as the person in the image attempts to preserve their light, the hand is ready to take it away. Be very clear that your boundaries are set and firm. No, no means no, not maybe, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. As you assert your confident boundaries, the hand of demand will pressure and drop away. The hands of demand and pressure will drop away. When you're young and learning about the world, you may find yourself giving a lot of your attention and energy to people who don't have your best interests at heart. Of course, this can happen at any point in your life, but you are especially vulnerable to this early on life's path. You sometimes may feel sucked dry or torn in too many directions. Life seems simple and fun on your own, but you feel you owe this person or these people something. You pay attention to them, try to change and please them, and fit into the world how they tell you to. This card tells you it's okay to say no, to step away, tell people to leave you alone. F off. Some people have a manipulative and controlling side without even realizing it. This can be a product of their upbringing. It's a sign that they're not happy inside because they need to control other people to feel powerful and good about themselves. You need to take practical steps to establish boundaries, such as blocking others on social media and your phone. This card reminds you that it's not a time to be questioning yourself. Set boundaries fearlessly. Do not let yourself be manipulated. The fact that you're reading this card likely means you are sensitive and an empath who is even more vulnerable to people draining you. This wonderful aspect of this card is represented by the red garment the person wears, is that you have the fire of rebirth inside yourself. You are stronger than this situation, and you have the inner strength to shine a light and guide yourself out of this situation. As always, speak to a trusted elder or counselor about your concerns, letting yourself be assisted as you liberate yourself from the grasping psychic vampires or draining situations around you. Yeah, so pretty sure that is very self-explanatory, as it applies to your situation. And like I always say, take the message that resonates. Separate the wheat from the chaff, and don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So we'll pull a. Where's the rest of my cards? Oh, I know what we should do. Should pull a Mind Strider. I love this deck. So the drawings in it are very non-traditional, like channeled drawings, but he's got like a story of how in the book of how all the drawings came to him. So we'll pull one of these, at least one. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. What time is it in Algeria? I wonder to myself. Cups. Eight of Cups is a card that often heralds change, transition, and leaving things behind. Wow. It's like the common theme in every single card we pull. This card may speak of travel or taking a physical or metaphysical journey. The character on this card is turning away from the known landscape dressed in a travel cloak. She is setting off towards a new, more challenging horizon. This journey may be prompted by unhappiness, dissatisfaction, or restlessness. Or it may just be time to take a big leap forward. Eight of Cups is often reflective of your need to seek a new way of being, to embark on a physical, spiritual, or intellectual journey. This may mean it's time to leave a job that's not letting you live up to your full potential, or perhaps the certain relationships in your life prevent you from being as happy or fulfilled as you could be. Sometimes turning away from the old modes of being, even when you have invested a lot of time and energy in your present situation, is a necessary part of your journey of discovery, particularly on a spiritual level. Sometimes we must abandon our baggage before we can move forward. Let go of the past, embrace the future. In a reading, beware when this card manifests alongside swords or cards that indicate combativeness, such as the Five of Wands, as this could mean that arguments, competition, or power struggles are sucking the joy out of relationships or working life. In its reverse aspect, card suggests that you may be confused or conflicted about the path forward. I don't count reversals, but I read it anyways. Disappointment and disillusionment might have you at a standstill. Perhaps you feel unhappy or dissatisfied, but can't clearly see the path forward. Try to focus entirely on yourself for a minute. Think hard about what you need, as well as what might be preventing that from happening. If your job, relationships, or current path are not helping you reach your full potential, think about how to make that change. Delaying hard decisions does not make things easier in the long run. Yeah. um, anyways, probably gonna take a little breaky. Might come back in a few. Hope that answered your question, Marwa, if you're still with me. Um, but yeah, thank you to all you people in the future who will have joined me eventually. Um, yeah. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Maybe we'll catch you a little bit later. Peace and love.